Greetings everyone, welcome back to Blade Bias. Today I wanted to give some love to the unsung heroes of my collection. The ballad songs that I don't really give enough love to lately, and those are my live blades. Because, truth is, I don't really flip live blades that often anymore. I mean, I would love to, but considering how little time I've had to flip lately, I usually avoid live blades because when I do have time to flip, I want to spend some time learning maybe some new tricks. And since my consistency is down, I don't really want to spend all that time, getting cut and having to deal with the aftermath of that with the band-aids and the few days of like band-aids falling off and everything, and then you're in school. It's like a whole thing. So I usually just kind of stay away from my live blades, which does mean that they get kind of neglected. I don't talk about them that often, even though they remain some of my favorite flippers in my collection. And because it's been so long since I've talked about them, I figured I would give them a dedicated video and the love that they deserve. We'll start off with the two that I have given the most love to recently, the Orion and the Slift T. The Slift T is usually the thing that I pick up because I feel I'm the most consistent on it out of all my live blades. It is the live blade that most closely matches my preference when I'm flipping a live blade. The Orion is probably my favorite actual balance of a live blade, but this is a balance that I prefer in trainers because it's light, agile, and I want to do crazy things with it, but I can't because it's a live blade. The Slift T reminds me to slow down a little bit while still being fast and agile like I do like it. So the Slift T is usually what gets flipped. That is also because it sits on its own little stand. This is a stand that I got from Blade Show a few years ago, so don't ask me where I got it. Can't really get it anymore, but it just kind of sits over on my desk in its own little area. So it gets the most flipping out of me, but even still, it's very, very little. And the Orion is kind of in the same boat. I pick it up because it's really, really beautiful. I flip it for about 3 minutes because it's super addictive, and then I get reminded about how sharp it is, and I promptly put it down. Because again, I haven't been flipping that much. Like, I've been very busy, so my consistency is already at an all-time low. I can go back to watching me flip in the Blade Bias summer videos that I did over the past summer, and I flip so much more consistently in them, I feel like. I'm also going through a phase of really trying to get my style into a bit of a different area. So flipping live blades doesn't really, contend very well with that. But the two that I really want to give love to are these two, because these are some of my favorite knives in my collection. Not for flipping, essentially, although they do both flip very well. But I love these two so much. So much so that they sit on a dedicated stand up here on my desk, and I can see them at all times, basically anywhere in my room. We'll start off with the Kraken. The Kraken is just awesome. Like, I'll be completely honest, I'm not a crazy fan of the Bowie. I think the Bowie flips amazingly. I think the Kraken is an amazing ballad song, but most of the time I'm reaching for something that has a little bit more flair to it. But even with that said, the Kraken is just so unbelievably consistent, and to have something that flips this good and looks this good, being my only Damascus knife in my collection and probably the rarest knife that I own, second only to something like the Kuno, because the Kuno hasn't released yet. This is super special. The story of how I got it, the Blade Show, it being my first Blade Show that I got it, the fact that it just looks so good. People always tell me to change the handles on this thing, but I just don't want to. This matte silver is just beautiful because the shininess is in the blade. It draws all of your attention to the Damascus and the blade. So I don't want to say, people always tell me, gosh, I'm looking around for a Kraken trainer. I don't own a Kraken trainer anymore, although that might be changing soon. Ooh. But people always tell me, like, oh, put the teal handles on or put the green handles on, and I'm like, I don't want to. The matte silver accentuates the blade and doesn't like take away from it or anything, and I really like that. I think it looks incredible. I love the Damascus Kraken so much. I think it's beautiful, and it really will just stay in my collection forever. This is one of the ballad songs that I have that I feel is truly a collection piece. Like, obviously I still flip it, but honestly, just based on flipping, I probably would have sold it for a Tonto a long time ago because I just vastly prefer how the Tonto flips with the little bit of extra tip weight that it has. But it's just, I prefer the look of the Bowie, and then you have this Damascus, which Damascus is just so beautiful. I love it. It's probably my favorite thing you can have on a blade. And it just, oh, it's so nice. So I prefer the Bowie look, and I will take that sacrifice in flipping any day of the week. But even though I say it's a sacrifice, it really isn't. The Bowie Kraken still flips really amazingly. It's probably one of the most consistent balisongs I have in my collection. I pretty much always can flip it, and I can't really remember the last time this thing really cut me that badly. Partially because it's kind of dulled out. Like, I wouldn't say it's dull, but it's definitely like probably a flipper's edge on it at this point with how much I've used, cutting and all that stuff. But it just flips really, really well. It's really consistent. I don't really find myself messing up on the Kraken. The Kraken is just legendary for all the right reasons. So to have this 1 of 40 that, as far as I'm aware, like, Squid has shown no intention of ever releasing anything like this. All of their Blade Show exclusives in the past few years have, in my opinion, been a little lackluster compared to this thing. So I'm just really, really happy to own it. And this thing is probably my favorite thing in my entire collection. Probably easily. Because, like, yeah, the Prisma Pro flip's amazing and the Slift T flip's amazing. But, man, everything from the flipping to the story to the looks of the Kraken is just awesome. And then finally we have this bad boy, the Impusa. I've gone on a journey with the Impusa where it has always been in my good graces, but it's kind of fluctuated where it is in my good graces. There were periods of times where I was like, I don't really prefer how it flips because it's more of a flowy flipper. But now that I'm trying to change my style to be less jerky and intense, I'm trying to make it more flowy. I find myself really, really enjoying the Impusa. And it has always just been a gorgeous, gorgeous balisong. This blade, this like pseudo kukri craziness going on is incredible. I have never looked at this thing and thought that it looked anywhere close to bad. It is always 105% amazing to me. And Grant just has some of the best titanium anodes in the game. I would say rivaling and maybe even beating out Dalen in some, or not, I guess not Dalen, but machine-wise in some regards. But these two both have really, really nice anodes. Grant's anodes have always been so vibrant to me. Usually titanium kind of fades out with age. Like my Nemesis has definitely been more purple and gold in the past. But this thing is just as vibrant blue with that little bit of green and purple in it as the day that I got it, and I just love it. There are some days where the sunlight will catch the stand up here just perfectly, and I just have to take out my phone and take a picture of it. It's just, this thing is amazing. It's built amazing. It's a piece of art. It's my kind of durable EDC type balisong, because while I don't beat it, because I want to beat it, because it's durable and it's nice, I don't want to ruin the anode too much, but this is definitely the thing that I bring if I need like a super solid EDC knife that I'm not going to have to worry about at all. Whereas my Slift T is more of like my actual beater if I want to flip. But this thing is just, it's robust and it's beautiful and I love it. And it's very flowy. I'm going to really, really like this thing as I start to kind of figure out my new style, what I want to go into in the coming year of me flipping. So yeah, it's just, and the craziest part is this, it sounds this good. This is all with bad tolerances. This thing has tap on the safe side, which is why I'm not like terribly worried about it, because it's not the bite side. Because I stripped a screw, completely my fault, very early on when I got this thing, and I've just never gotten around to fixing it because the thing just doesn't really suffer for it. It still has really good tolerances. I'm not finding it rubbing. It's just that little bit of tap, and it still feels solid. Like the tolerances aren't far off at all. So, yeah, the Impusa is just... I look at this thing every single day and wonder how I was lucky enough to get it. It is just incredible. Number 4. Holy cow. So I think that about does it. Those are my live blades that I don't give enough love, even though I love them so much. I just don't find myself talking about them that much because, as much as it pains me to say it, some of them just kind of sit on a display when I'm at school. Not the case when I'm on break because I'm actually focusing on flipping and getting technique down and all that. But when I'm in school, most of it just is, hey, throw it on a shelf because I'm not really going outside. I'm not really in a situation where I need to carry a knife on me. So figured I would do a video giving them some love. Thank you all for watching. If this is your first time seeing those knives, that's crazy. Welcome to the channel. But for now, I'm going to go get back to finals week, which is in full swing by the time you're watching this. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.